If you've ever tried to make Chinese takeout Egg Foo Young at home and been disappointed in the result, this video is for you. Today we'll go over everything you need to know about making old school style egg patties at home. I'll show you how to make a super quick takeout style gravy, and I'll reveal the secret techniques behind the traditional gravy you no longer see in restaurants. Now, we're going to test all the various methods and correct the most common mistakes when making Egg Foo Young omelets, but first we should address the sauce. You'll usually see one of two different styles of gravy on your Egg Foo Young. Old school style takeout cuisine almost always uses a roux-based sauce, meaning it's thickened with a mixture of flour and cooking fat. The more modern style of gravy typically uses cornstarch as a thickener, and because I like to be thorough, I'm just going to show you how to make both. For the modern gravy, we'll start by adding 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to a small pot. Then toss in 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of white pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of MSG, and 1 cup of chicken broth. Give it a whisk until the cornstarch and spices are totally dissolved, then add 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of dark soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. And if you're allergic to shellfish, you should be able to find several varieties of vegetarian oyster sauces at most Asian grocery stores. Then set the pot to medium heat and continue whisking until all the ingredients are thoroughly combined. When the sauce comes up to a simmer, allow it to thicken to your desired consistency, usually just a minute or two, and kill the heat. Then toss in 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil and whisk it into the sauce. And this is a basic modern-style Egg Foo Young gravy that you'll see in most takeout restaurants today. For the old-school style takeout gravy, let's start by adding 1 cup of chicken broth to a small bowl. Then toss in 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce, 1.5 teaspoons of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing wine, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of white pepper, and 1/8 teaspoon of MSG. Give it a whisk until everything is incorporated and set the sauce aside. Then, to a small pot over medium heat, add 3 tablespoons of neutral oil, 1 tablespoon of green onion whites, and 1 smashed garlic clove. What we're going to do here is saute the aromatics until they're well browned to flavor the oil. After they have some color, remove the scallions and garlic from the oil, lower the heat to medium-low, and add 2 tablespoons of white flour. Continue whisking to make sure the roux doesn't burn, and we need to cook the rawness out of the flour. Not cooking the flour for long enough is one of the most common mistakes when making a roux, and this is the reason why you'll often see very pasty sauces. You can tell when the roux is ready either by smell or color, and when it's ready, it should faintly smell of baked bread or have a very light brown shade to it. You're looking for a blonde or light brown roux. After it's ready, slowly pour in the chicken broth mixture bit by bit while whisking the roux. It'll clump up during the beginning, but just keep adding the sauce slowly while whisking and it should fully incorporate by the time you've added it all. Then keep whisking to make sure there are no clumps of flour and bring it up to a light simmer. You'll need to let it cook for several minutes to allow the roux to thicken the sauce, and you can tell when it's done when it coats the back of a spoon like this. Then kill the heat and pour the sauce through a strainer to remove any rogue chunks of flour that might be remaining. Now whisk in 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil. And this is the traditional old school style takeout gravy. Next up are the egg omelets. Western style Egg Foo Young patties are typically deep fried, but there's a lot of debate about what method of preparation will yield the best result. Should we blanch the vegetables? Will adding seasoning make the eggs runny? And does starch or flour improve the texture? So I decided to test every method so we could see what works best. First up is the vegetables. Here I'm using the traditional mixture of bean sprouts and sliced onion. To blanch the vegetable mixture, salt some simmering water and drop them in for about 1 to 2 minutes. Drain the vegetables and try to get as much water as possible out of them. Then mix in the eggs and deep fry the patties for about 3 to 5 minutes per side or until they're done. For the raw vegetables, we'll skip the blanching and mix them directly into the eggs. Then deep fry the mixture for about 3 to 5 minutes per side. Now, let's compare. As you can see, the blanched vegetable patties are denser and not as puffy as the raw vegetable version. This is most likely due to the remaining moisture that inhibits the expansion of gases in the egg mixture while deep frying. The raw vegetable patties are noticeably lighter, more airy, and have a delicate crispiness missing in the blanched version. It seems like blanching adds an extra step that's unnecessary, and this is probably why most takeout kitchens use raw vegetables in their Egg Foo Young. So my recommendation is to go raw like ODB. Next up is seasoning. A common refrain you'll often hear is that adding any sort of seasoning to the patties will make them soggy and prevent them from sticking together. So let's see if this is true. Here I'm adding salt, sugar, and white pepper to the vegetable mixture and tossing them together before I add the eggs. I made two different versions. In the first, I deep fried the patties immediately. In the second, I let the spices sit in the egg and vegetables for about 30 minutes. Then I deep fried each to compare the results. In the patties we deep fried immediately, there is zero difference in texture. The patties kept together fine, and there was a clear improvement in flavor. In the patties the spices set in for an extended period of time, however, there does seem to be some truth to the assertion they negatively affect the texture. The patties were noticeably looser, and they didn't seem to hold together as well as the ones we fried immediately after adding the spices. So I recommend adding seasoning, but frying the patties immediately after. It improves the flavor, and you shouldn't have any issues with texture if you cook them quickly. The final question we'll address is the starch or flour issue. So here I'm adding a bit of cornstarch and seasoning to our raw vegetable mixture and tossing the eggs in after they're coated. And here I've got a batch with no starch to use as a control. Then we'll fry the patties as we have in the previous test to see how they stack up. When you compare both, the patties with cornstarch were more fluffy and much lighter than the version without, and they seem to hold that delicate crispness better when drenched in the gravy. The omelets with no starch were much denser and had less crispness to them. They also got soggier in the gravy much faster. So adding starch or flour does seem to noticeably improve the texture of the patties. Now that we've dialed in what works best, we'll begin by heating some neutral oil in a large pot to 350 degrees. While the oil is heating, in a small bowl mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper together and set it aside. Then, in a separate bowl, mix together 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of roughly chopped bean sprouts, a 1/4 cup of thinly sliced onion, and 2 tablespoons of green onion whites. And for the record, chopped vegetables will help you create more rounded patties. Add the starch and seasoning mixture to the vegetables and toss until they're evenly coated. Then add 3 large eggs to the vegetable mixture along with 1 teaspoon of light soy sauce and a 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil. Gently mix everything together until the eggs and vegetables are well combined. And you don't want to whisk everything together until the eggs are homogeneous. This is a common mistake when making Egg Foo Young. You'll just gently fold in the eggs until everything is well combined. This will make eggs that are much lighter and not as dense when compared to the whisked eggs. To add the eggs to the oil, I'm using a type of wok ladle called a hoke. This is probably the most common utensil used in takeout kitchens for general cooking, and it will help you get that nice domed shape you're looking for in a good Egg Foo Young. You should be able to find these at most Asian grocery stores, and they're typically just a few dollars. To fry the eggs, place your utensil against one side of the pot and slowly raise it away from you, allowing the egg to gently set in the oil. This will help the omelet stay uniform and will prevent them from scattering all over the oil. Repeat this step with each of the remaining eggs. The recipe provided will make 3 large patties, and fry them for about 3 to 5 minutes or until they're well browned on the bottom. While they're frying, baste them with the oil so the top of the patties can also set. And this will help solidify the omelets so they stay together better. You might notice the oil foaming up during the frying. This is due to the water in the eggs or the vegetables. It's not really something to worry about, but you want to leave a bit of room in the pot in case it bubbles over. Then flip all of the patties and cook for an additional 3 to 5 minutes or just until they're done. When you're taking the eggs out of the oil, notice there are 2 sides. You have the smooth domed side and the scraggly bottom side. You always want to drain the patties with the smooth side facing up. This will help the oil drain much better and prevent them from becoming too oily. To serve, place the omelets on a plate and douse them with gravy. Garnish with some sliced green onions, and this is it. This is an Egg Foo Young that will rival any of the OG San Francisco or New York versions. And very quickly before our taste test, I want to tell you about a regional delicacy you can make if you have leftover egg patties. In St. Louis, Missouri, they have something called a St. Paul sandwich. It's just white bread with mayonnaise, diced onion, dill pickles, lettuce, and an Egg Foo Young patty. And I didn't think I would like it, but I gotta give it to St. Louis. I think y'all are onto something. All right, back to the taste test. Deep fried egg patty smothered in gravy? I mean, come on, how much more American can you get? When you make this right, with a little care and attention to detail, Egg Foo Young is a phenomenal dish. And if you'd like to learn all the secrets behind P.F. Chang's Mongolian beef, be sure to check out this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.